During their lifetime, close to a third of all women are likely to suffer from pelvic organ prolapse when an organ like your bladder drops from its normal place into your lower belly. Joining me today in the studio is Edith Goldberg, CEO of Escala Medical, an Israeli medical company that's about to launch the first ever non-surgical medical device to treat this condition. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
So I had never heard of pelvic organ prolapse before. I looked it up before this interview. So tell us more about what happens and why this takes place.
Right. So in normal anatomy, the pelvic organs, the bladder, the uterus, and the vagina and the rectum are held up in place and supported by muscles and ligaments. What happens in prolapse is that basically the structures holding those organs together are actually weakened or torn, causing them to drop down or herniate.
And how does that happen? What causes that?
Right. The weakening of the structures that are holding the organ basically cause them to drop down or herniate, and this can result in a range of symptoms, starting from a sense of fullness or a bulge to more severe conditions such as urinary and bowel incontinence.
So why is there a weakening of these structures?
There are several factors contributing to it. It could be one of the signs of aging, and with the increasing rates of obesity, the condition is also becoming more and more prevalent. But basically, every woman that had given birth, actually every second woman that had given birth is likely to develop pelvic organ prolapse during their lifetime.
So this is a very serious issue. Now, you have created a device to combat this. Tell us about how it works.
Right. So our device repairs prolapse by fixating the vagina to a ligament, restoring its position. Now, this procedure is routinely done today, only today it requires surgery. With our device, we allow this in 3 simple steps in an overall procedure that does not take longer than 20 minutes.
Wow.
Now, what happens is that the surgeon identifies a known landmark in the vagina and directs the tip of the applicator. By squeezing a trigger, an anchor is deployed in an acute manner and to a limited depth. And by retracting the applicator, 2 degradable sutures are left in the vagina. A button-like securing element is threaded all the way through, and again, no incisions are involved. And the sutures are tied and cut. This is repeated twice on each side, and after a healing period of several weeks, when the sutures have degraded, the buttons basically fall off, leaving the vagina free of any device.
Now, how did you decide to focus on treating this issue specifically?
Right. So the company was founded by Trendlines Medical, that is one of the leading seed-stage investors in Israel, and 2 highly experienced American surgeons and entrepreneurs that had already successfully introduced devices into this market. And one of the founders, Dr. Goldberg, is a urogynecologist, and this is the type of the procedures that he does routinely in his practice. So he definitely understands the need and identifies the gap compared to current treatments.
Well, it seems like you guys have created something that is going to affect so many women. I mean, this is, like we said before, a condition that is very, very common,
Correct.
Whether or not people know about it. So I hope that you succeed in getting your product out there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.